Well, I think now we have a major opportunity now that we have our stability really returning. We must now focus on how do we create the long-term competitiveness of Hong Kong and how do we reconstruct our economy going forward. As you know, external to Hong Kong, the world is recovering and recovering very rapidly. You saw the forecast on the IMF, and the whole world, I think, is really focusing forward to the post-COVID era. I think this is a unique opportunity for Hong Kong to focus on the future and how do we actually now rebound and reconstruct our economy.
Right. Well, the border has been closed for more than a year. So when do you think the border will be reopened? And how important is the vaccination situation to this point?
Well, I have no crystal ball. I certainly hope that it would be very soon. But I do know that the whole world, is really moving towards more and more vaccinations. I think Hong Kong is actually moving in the same direction. I'm very hopeful that in a reasonable short period of time, there'll be more opening. Now, maybe it's easier to move one way across the border first and then to move the other way in terms of the length of time for quarantine and so on. But I think it is important. But I think I would like to emphasize that Hong Kong being an international center and our need to really focus outward to the world and the global economy. It's not just the border with the GBA that needs to be reopened. I think we really need to think about how we actually can reopen the borders to other countries like our near neighbors in ASEAN and of course the rest of the world.
A key vision you laid out in a report produced by your think tank 2022 Foundation on Hong Kong's role in Greater Bay Area. Can you elaborate further how Hong Kong can reconstruct the economy?
When I look at Hong Kong, I really see an hourglass. We're at the center of the hourglass. On top is really the Greater Bay Area, the mainland side of the GBA. But also, we're also a major linkage to the ASEAN economies, which is crucial. In my view, over the next 5 years, or maybe more, this is going to be the fastest growing economic region in the world. And we're really right in the center of it. And we really can play the role as a major hub. And in my mind, we're absolutely supported in this respect by the very strong position of Hong Kong International Airport. If you look at, for example, the crucial movement of cargo, Hong Kong International Airport is the #1 global international freight hub in the world. So we are now moving 5 million tons a year. And in my mind, in the next 5 to 10 years, we should be moving towards 10 million tons a year. With that dominant position, I think we're in an ideal position to connect that. Now, once we connect ASEAN, then I think the movement along the Belt and Road countries and so on will naturally lead us to play a much bigger role in ASEAN than you mentioned.
So, I mean, in Hong Kong history, what's the relevance of this ASEAN RCEP in compared to, what the economic transformation we've been through?
Yeah, I think it's really an important part because Hong Kong has always played a central role in trade. And what I can see is the world is now going through a major transformation in which we will be constructing the multilateral systems of the future, especially in the multilateral trading system in trade. I think the RCEP is going to form the basis of that. And if Hong Kong can actually be a major part of RCEP and play a critical role and a very vital role in RCEP by linking the Greater Bay Area and ASEAN, and then moving to play a bigger role in RCEP and then eventually the multilateral system, we would have then reestablished the role that we had actually played for many years in the past.
I see. So I want to go back a little bit to your previous point on the Hong Kong airport, which is a great asset to Hong Kong and also
Yes.
Have been playing the role of the aviation hub. But then Shenzhen has been trying to get over Hong Kong, and then we've seen the new runways being built. It looks like there's a dogfight going on with Hong Kong and across the border in terms of this type of infrastructure.
Well,
So
as you know, I've spent many years at the airport in my past. I think competition for Hong Kong International Airport, we're no stranger to that. It's not just Shenzhen. I mean, many areas in the region are actually competing. But the key thing we got to remember is Hong Kong has a very dominant geographic position. We are also the #1 international air freight cargo hub, and we have the largest network of international flight destinations, and also, and with our air rights, etc. So all these combination, and because of Hong Kong's ability to combine both hardware at the airport and so on, also with software and clearing. And so I think we really would have a very good chance of holding on to that dominant position, and it's important for us to do so.
And you're not worried about those infrastructure ending up become white elephants, do you?
Absolutely not, because in fact it's our competitiveness for the future. Let me tell you why. The whole world is moving towards e-commerce, and more goods will be moving by air. If we maintain our competitive position in the movement of air cargo, we're able to link both movement by water and by land into a multimodal system that I think will actually maintain our lead.
Right. So I think innovation is a key theme in Hong Kong's future and also GBA. So can you elaborate a little bit the division of labor of Hong Kong and other cities in Guangdong or in GBA? I mean, how to make a bigger impact?
Yeah, I think that's an excellent question. I think innovation is going to be behind all the major plans of major countries around the world. You know, if you look at the 14th five-year plan that has just been promulgated, you know, innovation is the key feature. I think Hong Kong can play a major role in being a center for innovation. Let me elaborate. You know, if you look at the universities in Hong Kong, 4 of our universities are among the top 50 in the world. And we have a very strong position in papers and basic research. And everybody knows about 0 to 1, right? We definitely have the 0, and we need to actually then put in the system to produce the working samples, if you would, very quickly. And that is certainly within Hong Kong's reach. But even beyond that, we should not stop in the innovation process with the 0 to 1. That is only the first part of it. The middle part will be thinking about making from 1 to 100. Why 1 to 100? Because you need to make small lots to do focus groups and rapid tests to redesign the product and go back to the lab and to circulate. Then finally, you got to think about from 100 to 100,000 and doing a full-blown test market. And that would be ideal to work with our friends across the border in Shenzhen and so on to do the testing in the Greater Bay Area. So if you look at the whole process from the beginning, basic research, where we have a lot of strength that we really need to leverage, and then in the middle portion, of 1 to 100, I think Hong Kong has a real opportunity to create, frankly, a new reindustrialization. I can foresee the growth of a large number of factories, highly automated, not the old style, using up a lot of land and so on. We could easily do it in Tai Po, in the science park and so on, and really actually creating a lot of jobs and a lot of high-tech manufacturing that could produce a lot of, shall we say, 100 sample runs very quickly and in high quality. And that will actually be a crucial part of the whole innovation process.
Right.
That will really not only help employment and the Hong Kong economy, but actually create the new products.
Right. We have been talking about so many opportunities available in the Greater Bay Area. What happens if Hong Kong misses the boat?
Now, that's a very good question. I think Hong Kong has gone through a difficult period. We're now ready to rebound and rebound very rapidly. But we really need to have an outward-looking society, outward-looking economy to really do that. Now, as the world rebounds, I think it would be very serious if Hong Kong doesn't also rebound for it. So my take from all this is not only do we have an opportunity that we can actually make a big difference now, but if we don't, I think that we would then really then be missing the window of opportunity. And I think the consequences will not be good. So I think it's the time is now, and I think we're ready for it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fung, for your views.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy and honored to be here for this interview. Thank you.
Thank you.